for watching Hack the File. I'm Michael Lopez, and on today's video, we're going to be looking at the Kali Linux tools book, part 7, exploiting tools. Enjoy. All right, this one's going to be a fun one. Hopefully, all these tools work. We can get some kind of knowledge of them and have them in your little Kali Linux attack box. Um, I've used some of these before, like Metasploit, but as you'll see, Metasploit is a very, I don't know about advanced, but it's a very intricate um, attack tool. So exploitation tool. So hopefully we can get most of these working and get some experience with these tools, right? Or at least know of them and know how they work and know that we have them and what they do and how hackers use them and how we could use them if you're a pen tester or something like that. So, you know, um, which is really cool, and that's what my channel is about. My channel is about, if you've been following me for a while or whatnot, it's about uh, learning and education. So, you know, there's a lot of ways to learn how to do something and whatnot, and there's a lot of like services out there that measure the best people that can like capture the flag and all this stuff, but like in reality, that's you know is that what you're doing in reality? I mean, in reality, what you're doing is original thought, right? You're learning how all this works, and you're learning how to use the tools. You're learning of them, and then you can have your own original thoughts on how to execute them, right? Which is creativity and all that stuff. But I mean, it goes beyond creativity and just solving problems, right? You're gonna be like thinking originally how to do anything. If somebody puts you in a situation and says, "Hey, how would you do this?" Right? And also you need to learn how to learn, right? But how would you do this? You know, you would go back on all your experience and all the different things you learned, and you would come up with a creative way, or come up with a way to do that, right? And that's what this channel is about. So, all right, let's get started. So, exploiting is the art of using vulnerabilities in a system to gain unauthorized access. Once we discover a vulnerability using some of the tools discussed above, we use exploitation tools to take advantage of the vulnerability and gain access to the system. In this section, we will discuss the most common exploitation tools bundles in Kali Linux. Metasploit. Like I said, Metasploit is a very popular tool. Metasploit is the most popular exploitation framework. There you go. Equipped with thousands of scripts, this penetration framework helps in finding, validating, and exploiting vulnerabilities in computer systems. Developed by RAID 7, this tool offers a command line interface for operations. Metasploit contains scripts written in different languages for platform hacking. It also it is also cross-platform and can run on Linux, Windows, and OS X. You can find more information from the following resource page. Now, we always click on this, and then I'll save it, right? And we can look at this page a little bit. Metasploit is, this just goes over like how to run Metasploit and what it does. You can pause it, type that in your URL, keep it in your little browser or little history, your little favorites. That way, if you need to reference it, you can say, okay, I've got it in my favorites, right? So that's what I do. I get through all these books, right? And on this computer, I have all my favorites and stuff, and I can transfer all that stuff to from laptop to laptop. And instead of like googling something and searching around for a minute, I've already got it on tap. If I need to reference something, right, and if I remember, my memory's pretty good on what stuff I've gone over, what stuff I've got, what links I have. Metasploit is a very complex and advanced framework. To launch Metasploit in Kali, open applications, exploit Metasploit framework. So let's do that. Let's go to my Kali Linux. Oh, what happened? Did it crash? Might have to rerun that. Well, that's trying to start and rerun. We'll just keep reading. When you launch Metasploit for the first time, the interface can be very intimidating. Let us discuss the basics of working with Metasploit that you need to know to get started. Metasploit fundamentals. MF Console, which is the console for Metasploit, I'm assuming, is the most popular interface for interacting. Hold on, let me check this in. For interacting, okay, for interacting with the Metasploit framework, it provides a terminal control. It provides a terminal control of the entire framework. Once you have launched MF Console, as shown above, a banner and information about the Metasploit, what Metasploit contains, will appear. To get started, type the command help to list all the commands supported by Metasploit console. The Metasploit console has loads of commands. Here are the most common and essential ones. Okay, so we'll go through these, but let's get it running. All right. So we're gonna click on this guy up here, and we're just gonna go to exploitation tools. And here, there it is right there in Metasploit framework. And we got crack, map, exec, MSF payload creator, search exploit, social engineering toolkit, SQL map. We'll do the Metasploit. Man, that's thinking. Just trying to. Never started this, as you can see. There's Metasploit. MSF6. And it wants us to type help. And here's the help command list. Core commands. Displays an awesome Metasploit banner. Color. Connect. So here's a bunch of commands, module commands. Job commands, resource, database. I mean, this tells you how to use it. Mm, There's the Metasploit banner that was talking about. Awesome banner. Metasploit. That is a pretty cool banner. It is a pretty cool banner. Alright, let's see. Let's go back. Alright, let's read these off. Alright, here are the most common essential ones. Back returns you back to your previous context. Banner randomly selects and displays a banner. That's what we just did. I don't know why that's important. Show options displays the options and requirements of a specific module. Search for modules based on the name, description, and platform. Routes network traffic through a Metasploit session. Use selects a module by its name. Kill used to kill running job. Load used to load plugins into the framework. Connect used to establish communication with the host. Sessions displays detailed information about running Meterpreter sessions. Sets a specific module variable to a value. Unsets a specific variable from its current value. Info displays detailed information about specific modules. Help shows help on Metasploit commands and usage. IRB drops into a Ruby shell, so we already did this one too. These are some of the available Metasploit commands. Keep in mind that Metasploit supports more than 200 commands. We're going to look at an example of how to use Metasploit to exploit Metasploitable2 VSF TPD vulnerability. Alright, the first step is to search for vulnerability exploit. Load the module by using the use command followed by the full exploit name. So I can't see that. I mean, this is just ridiculous. How do I zoom in on this? Okay. Search. So we're gonna search for this. Let me, man, I'm gonna see if I can zoom in on this. You know, they give you pictures and you can't even see. Do I have a zoom on here? Well, I'm just gonna have to just do it like this. So the first thing we do is we search for a vulnerability, right? And this one specifically is the VSFTPD vulnerability. Okay, now it's gonna search, and it found it. It found an auxiliary DOS, file transfer protocol, FSTP vulnerability. This is the rank right here. If it's normal, then it has it's pretty. You have a normal chance of it working. Exploit Unix FTP VSFTPD backdoor 211 2003. What is that? 2011 733 July. Excellent. So this one has an excellent chance of working. All right. Let's see what else it says to do. Let me see. First step, load the module by using the command followed by the full exploit. So which one? Use exploit. Backdoor. So we want to use the backdoor. So we're going to copy this like this. This is the full name right here, right? I'm going to copy that. So just this name. This is what it's showing. You guys can't see it because it's too small. So we're gonna use, and then we're gonna. I don't know if that has to be capital. We're about to find out. No payload configured. Defaulting to command Unix interact. Exploit Unix FTP. So now it loaded that exploit. I love this tool. Exploit's awesome. So now I loaded that exploit, right? That exploit's ready to rock. Okay. Alright, now we wanna show info on it. Let's see. The next is to show information about the exploit. In this case, it is a VSFTPD backdoor command execution. So we want to show info on this because show is it 2 words? It is 2 words. Show info. So name VSF TPD version 2.3.4 backdoor command execution. Exploit Unix FTP backdoor Unix command yes. Metasploit framework BSD excellent. The rank is excellent for the Metasploitable, I guess. I don't know. Available targets, automatic, basic options. Your R host, and we're going to read about this here in a second. Description: this module exploits a malicious backdoor that was added to the VSFTP, which is the VSFTP download file transfer protocol archive. This backdoor was introduced into the VSFT file transfer protocol background version TAR archive between June to this date. According to the most recent information available, this backdoor was removed on July 3rd, 2011. But in Metasploitable, it's still there. This is just an example how to use a vulnerability, right? This is going to be one that's been patched, fixed long time ago. But we're going to hack it like if it wasn't, right? I think. I don't know. All right. Says next, set the required arguments displayed by the show info command. The R host in this case is the IP address of the target victim, which is your Metasploitable tool. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna keep doing this because it gives us good practice. So I'm gonna do net discover. We'll run that. We'll run that net discover. Right. I only got 2 things running right now. So Control C on that. Stop it. And then the Metasploitables right here. Right? Because I know. So I've got that ready. The next is to set a payload. Okay, so let's set. So next, set the required arguments. So we're going to do set. This one I think has to be capitalized. R host. So the receiving host. I think that's what that means. Don't remember. I haven't used this in a while. Paste that. Okay. So now you put in your set R host, and that's going to be the one you're attacking, right? Let's see how it comes on here. R host over there. You're good now. Now we're going to show the payloads. which is another command, right? Compatible payloads. All right. The next is a set of payload. A payload is a set of code or command to be executed once the vulnerability has been exploited. Once you set the payload, check the info to make sure no required parameters are missing. This in place, this in place, the next step is to exploit the target using the exploit command. So, um, this one wants to set this payload right here. Payload um, CMD Unix interact. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this payload. These are compatible payloads. So set, and this already has payload in it. So I'm just going to copy this whole selection. I'm going to set that payload. Oh, I did that wrong. Set like that. So you just put set payload, and then you don't use that payload. You don't you don't use the payload on that first. You just use command Unix interact. But yeah, set payload command Unix interact. So you don't use that payload from what I'm looking at on this. Okay, so now yeah, so that's how you know you set it. Payload command Unix interact. So now I set the payload. So the payload is just like the book said. Once you take advantage of the vulnerability into the backdoor, okay, of the target, then you you attach a payload that's compatible that with that vulnerability, or I'm assuming in this case it's an FTP vulnerability, right? I mean, I'm not assuming that's what it's telling you, but I'm assuming that it's a compatible FTP payload. That's what I'm saying. So now the payload is loaded. Okay. So when you do attack it, it's got a command Unix interact payload vulnerability or whatever payload. Um, a payload is a set of code or command to be executed once the vulnerability has been exploited. Once you set the payload, check the info to make sure no required parameters are missing. This is okay, we already read this. Okay, now we're gonna exploit. So now we can exploit. So now the gun is loaded, it's cocked. Now we're gonna shoot. So now you're gonna exploit. Exploit. So now it's thinking. Once the target has been exploited, depending on the payload used, it will give you terminal access or a metaterpreter session. In this case, a terminal access as root was given. As noted earlier, Metasploit is very advanced and proficiently working with it requires advanced knowledge that can only come from consistent practice. So this is supposed to give me. So now, if you read this banner, user please specify a password. Backdoor service has been spawned. So I'm in the backdoor. Root. I've got root. I got shell. Now I got a command shell opened to my interpreter on this port or whatnot. At this time. So I can type in here, I can type in like ls, right? And now I'm in a shell in my interpreter machine. Man, what the heck? Anyways, so that worked, and I don't feel like playing with it. I mean, it's I want to know how to use the tool, and then and if later on if I want to spend some time, I can spend some time messing with Metasploitable. Here's the thing. You only have so much time, right, to learn things. So knowing how this works, knowing that I can get it to work, is the most important thing. I've got books on this, and I was thinking about making a Metasploitable series, which would probably be awesome because there. I mean, a lot of companies use Metasploitable, right? And the reason is because you can. It's just so awesome to be able to take advantage of a vulnerability, to upload a payload to exploit. I mean, and this is just the basic functions, right? But as you can see, it did everything it said it was going to do. And this has a repository, I'm assuming, of a bunch of different payloads and vulnerabilities. And I think you can even add some. This, this is awesome. So it's a cool little program, right? I mean, big program, Metasploitable framework, whatever you want to call it. All right. Like I said, they've got books that you can basically go through and uh, just get real advanced in the Metasploitable. And I would recommend, if you want to spend time doing something, spend time learning Metasploitable really well. Um, it's an awesome program. Like I said, a lot of pen testers use it. I guess I don't know. I'm not a pen tester, and it says it does, so I believe it. I've heard that pen testers use Metasploitable, and if you get online, a lot of these pen testing positions are asking that you know how to use Metasploitable. I don't know how much they're using it, but I'm sure they're using all kinds of different stuff. Burp Suite, I mean, just everything. So that's another thing you probably want to spend some time into. Metasploitable, Burp Suite, stuff like that. I don't know how long I want to make this video. I might just make this video 30 minutes, and then go through. I don't know. I might make it an hour. Let's make this one an hour, just for the heck of it, because this one's pretty cool. All right. So Armitage. Armitage is a graphical version of Metasploit. This Java-written program provides a very handy and easy to use interface for working with Metasploit. It provides GUI mapping for targets and visualizes recommended exploits, payloads, and post exploitation commands. Kali Linux Armitage setup. The setup Armitage to set up Armitage without errors, perform the following commands. Okay, so I'm gonna do these commands and see if they work. Okay, and this is just gonna be setting up um, the Armitage, and it might be outdated. It's Java, so I mean, we'll see. Usually, I haven't had that much luck with Java programs or Java tools. So we'll see. I don't know why. I don't know how that's gonna work. Yeah, I don't know how this. So this is like we have to figure this out. I don't. So I don't think this goes in. I think we have to go to Armitage right here. Armitage. Yeah, I don't think I have it. Might be in my Metasploitable. Oh, this is in the Metasploit. Splittable. Okay, so it's part of this, right? So I'm gonna put service. So I guess that wasn't found. Maybe. Yeah, so it's just it's all lowercase. So it looks like it started that service. Because I can't spell, right? S P L O I T Sploit service. Dang, Mr. Poe. I'm just typing in what it's telling me to do. Yeah, it's usually outdated. Let's see if I typed it wrong. So it's saying Java something does not exist. So Java. Sure, we don't need this. So I'm sure we don't need these. I can't remember if the instructions in this book are. There you go. I don't know if that worked, but I don't know how to launch Armitage. It says launch Armitage. Where do you launch Armitage from? From here? I don't think any of that worked. Ain't no Armitage there. How did we launch? See if I can launch Armitage from. Does he have to have it? Error. Cannot initiate the connection to Kali.org. Unreachable. So since it's unreachable, we're having issues. Let's see what's going on here. I restarted everything. My internet was all jacked up, but I installed Armitage again, and it went through. So we'll come here. You type in Armitage, and there it is. Run it, and there it is. Look at it. It's just a little small. Let's see how that works. To start using Armitage, you can add targets by clicking on Host tab. Once you have added the targets, you can start to perform operations such as scanning, finding vulnerabilities, and setting payloads So you can find more about this on this link. So this would be somewhat, Armitage would be something that you would have to play with. um, this has got the something you would have to play with, and have fun with. I'm not gonna do it today, but I've got it installed. If I wanted to play with it, I can. Um, so we got Armitage all set up. I recommend you guys get it set up and then play with it. See if it's better. I don't think so. It looks like it's whatever, but this website doesn't even work, so just trying to. Alright, let's go to the next one. Browser exploitation framework. Beef. Beef is another penetrating testing tool used by security professionals. Beef exploits browser based vulnerabilities to perform client side attacks. It is open source and comes bundled with Kali Linux. You can find more about this on this page, beefproject.com. So, what is beef? It's got all kinds of stuff in here. So, https beefproject.com. To launch Beef, open the terminal and navigate. User share Beef X. I wonder if I could just. So I'm gonna. You guys can pause that, but I'm gonna bring this over here. See if Beef is just. No. Alright, where's the saying to go? Launch Beef, open the terminal, navigate to user, share Beef. So. Ain't no beef here. Huh. Yeah, I don't see no beef here, so. There ain't no beef. All right. We're not gonna do this beef one. I don't know what it's wanting us to do. Um, so we're just gonna skip it. Seems like I have to put in a lot of time and effort in this one, and I don't want to make the video too long. But um, seems like a little tool like this where it's not going to be a big deal. So we're going to skip beef. We'll just skip it. If you guys want to have fun with it, have fun with it. Pause the video, zoom in on the instructions right here, read about it. Go to this one, you can read about it. I mean, it's, here it starts right here. Wants you to go and do something, but I'm not gonna mess with it. Seems too complicated. Not complicated, but it seems too much work for uh, this. I think I used it a long time ago, actually. I had to do this, so but I don't remember. All right, let's move on. Exploit database. Exploit database or exploit DB. Now we already know about that. Is an archive of searchable exploits, vulnerabilities developed and maintained by offensive security, and it contains scripts and detailed information about discovered exploits. You can launch it by typing search exploit in the terminal, and you can also visit the web page below for easier navigation. So we already have this exploit database. Everybody knows about that. Action step. As has been the case with all other Kali Linux pen testing tools we have discussed in this guide, mastering the mastery of suing the what? Suing mastery of suing these exploitation tools will only come from practice. Master of whatever. I'm about to Google that. Practice using the various exploitation tools described here. No clue. Alright, so that was it. It's a cool little book. Paid maybe $12 for it, $8. Gives you a little taste of how to use these, and I think that was a good, cool little chapter. We learned a lot about Metasploit and I guess Armitage, but I'm not gonna mess with it. You learned a little bit about Beef, but if you want to, you can pause the video and you can install Beef. And exploit database. Pause it, get that. Well, it's just exploitdb.com. You already know about it, and that was it. That was a cool little, fast little video, and I hope you learned something. We went over Metasploitable. Metasploitable is a powerful tool. I recommend getting a book on Amazon. I mean, I have one, I think. So I'll go to my Kindle library and there's one. Let me see, did I pass it? Got a burp suite. Learning Python. I don't have one. thought I did. I thought I had a Metasploitable book. Um, Maybe I don't. I've got Wireshark. So yeah, find a Metasploitable book and study it. Um, Go through it and learn little by little. Metasploitable is a pen tester jobs tool. So I guess that's it. If you had fun, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next Hack the File. We're almost done with this book. Let me see how many more chapters we have on this. So we've got we're about halfway through the book, halfway through. So, and this is just going over the tools and stuff. So, Autopsy is another one. I don't know. So I'll see you in the next chapter. Have fun.